Hi everybody, my name is Andrea of macadres.com. Today I am sitting here with, as some of you may know, P-Cash, aka Rochele Pamphille.
Wow, you said my name as it's supposed to be said. She. What is it? You have to be Haitian.
I'm Haitian.
I knew it. I was like, there's only one West Indian part that would say my name that correct as you just did, because every time someone pronounced my government name, it's always a mess up. The first name, the last name, but you said it like you knew my family. Like, do you know my family?
I'm Haitian.
Oh,
we all know each other.
What's going on?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm so happy to be here. I'm ready to just talk about so much stuff going on.
Yes, a lot is going on with you.
A lot. So I'm excited.
How's 2018 treating you?
It varies. I'm very balanced, so I try my hardest to mix the good and the bad, but overall it's been decent. I'll say it's been decent. I've had greater years, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I've had greater years. This year was more like groundwork, stomping yard, 24 hours being up, back and forth, traveling. So it's not so much an ideal year for me that I would like to do that, but I know nobody's gonna do it for me, so I have to do it.
But when you say groundwork, is it more so towards, because I know when we met earlier this year, you did say you was at a point of rebranding.
Right.
Is it more so due to the rebranding, or is it more so due to just life itself just hitting you?
More so the rebranding. I can handle my own life, but more so the rebranding of my agency's R&D Entertainment Agency. It started off as PK Entertainment, then I met D, is my business partner, Delisha. She's based in Alabama, between Alabama and Atlanta, so she has that whole sector locked down. And as far as the industry, entertainment-wise, so we came together. So when we branched together, we created R&D Entertainment Agency because.
How long ago was this?
This is actually new. It's been several months in, working overtime, because we know we're the underdogs right now. We're new agencies, so we're working overtime, and this is when we have to make a name for the brand, so not so much ourselves. So yeah.
So R&D Entertainment, that's what it's called. And what is the R&D for?
Rocky, that's what a lot of people call me, my nickname, and Delisha D, people call her. So D and I, we pretty much had a conversation where she's like, I really want to take this Publicist work serious. I've been doing it longer than her because I was already an artist, so I already knew the strings, what comes along with that. And she was fairly new, but she had a couple of clients that she worked with from Love and Hip Hop. And I was just like, you know what? And we always was just going back and forth. Whenever she needed something, I needed something. Whenever she needed a connect, whenever she needed a phone number, whenever she needed an email, we would exchange contacts. So that's how we kept in contact, and how we came up with it. It was like, you know what, let's build an agency. Why not? Because so many people are always looking for publicists and public relations, and always looking for publicity, and that's what we always had. So we was just like, let's put all our resources together and make it happen.
So why transition from, because it seems like as a musician, a rapper, you seem very successful, like you were on the come up on it.
Right.
And to transition now to go to a whole different direction as far as PR marketing, those are two different worlds.
Right.
So what made you want to do that change?
I've always wanted to get into PR and marketing and stuff like that, but I couldn't make that change because at that time, during my come up, it was either or. People kind of made it seem like it was too confusing, like record labels and people who, or even independent underground record labels, like which one? Like, you can't do both. So I was told that it would confuse people. I don't understand it. It's either you're doing rap or you're doing behind the scenes, and you couldn't do both. So
but why though? Why do people like to box people in? I don't ever get that.
Like to box you in because it makes them feel comfortable. If I know that I can't do something you can do, it makes me feel uncomfortable, because let's just say you put this whole set together and I know I can't do that, right? Somebody be like, why don't you just do the interview and have someone else do the whole set together? You're gonna be like, why? When I could actually do both, right? So it makes someone feel uncomfortable because they can't do it all. So they try to shine what you're doing, that to make it seem more comfortable for them, and that's a selfish way of thinking. I view it. So it is
very sad that we have come to that.
Yeah.
But as far as like when you were the artist, do you still do it, right?
Of course, yeah. I'm never gonna give up something I love to do. I like to rap. I like to make music. I like to make beats. That's something I'll never give up.
How do you balance both? Because especially doing both at once, somebody could easily say like, "What do you really do it?"
Right, exactly. So it's confusing to like the average person. Don't get it. I'm always confusing to the average person. I've always felt as if I was in a lane by myself. Just generally, just growing up, I always thought different. I did things different. I looked different, and everything about me was just different. I never was a normal kid, so it was always something different about me. Everybody was just like, "What is wrong with him? Why is he doing this? What's this? What's that? What's this? What's this?" So the way I learned how to balance it, I don't want to say I take time off, but whatever is blooming more, whatever's going upscale, it's kind of like the road I go on. Like, for example, right now my agency is popping. Like a lot of artists that I work with are like, they need PR, they want my PR services. So I'm kind of indulging myself more into that. I'm paying more attention to that. I'm spending more money on that rather than putting out a mixtape or putting out a record or anything that has to do with entertainment. I do kind of like, if someone I knew or someone hears a song that I did in the past, quote unquote, and they like want to interview me about my artistry, that's fine too. But this is what I'm focusing on, and this is what generates the money.
Let's take it back a little bit. Define the services that you offer your client. What services do you offer?
So we offer publicity. That's one thing. A publicist, public relations, networking, placing our clients in the best position, in the best look for their lane. Because every artist is different, and every artist doesn't want the same thing. So we sit down with the artist. We try to figure out what they want. D and I, shout out to D. We sit down and we bring them in the R&D entertainment agency office, and we're like, what's your goals? What do you have coming up? What do you need a publicist for? And this and this and that. Usually they always say, what can you offer me? And that's just like the devil in my eyes, because it's just like, why do people always ask what you can offer? You don't go to a Walmart saying, what can you guys offer me in Walmart, right? You go to Walmart because you know what you need for this. You know what you do. So when you reach out to a publicist, you should know why you're reaching out to me.
Yeah.
You should do your research on why I need a publicist. Hey, I'm about to drop an album. I need to do a week tour of interviews. I need to be on red carpets. I need to be on blogs. I need to be this. I need to this. That's why you need a publicist, because you need publicity. You need to maximize what you're doing, because you got to remember, if you're a new actor, there's a bunch of new actors. What's the difference between you? Our goal as working with the new actor or new artist is to make sure you not only are you aligned with the artist, you're just a little bit more, because they know why you're different. Because I seen her in the blog last week, and she has a new shoe line. I know her. She acts, but she also has a mixtape coming out. So differentiating your brand is another thing. A major key thing that we do is build a brand. Is building a brand. I always tell people, you can have the fast food McDonald's, what's going on, like an artist come out, he's hot for like 10 days and then he's gone and stuff like that, but people no longer want to build their brands. So
is this what you want to do long term?
I want to say this is what I want to do long term, because I feel as if it's something that I enjoy doing more than being an artist. Yeah, I enjoy doing PR work than being an artist. So PR is a little more difficult, but at the same time, it's bringing in finances. And on top of that, generation-wise, I have a sister, a younger brother. I always want them and cousins to just have a business left behind. I want them to have a business left behind, something they can work on. Let's just say, I'm realistic. If I get hit by a car and I die tomorrow, I'll have a business still left. My mother could use it.
That's beautiful thinking, actually.
Yeah, my cousin could use it. My little brother can go to PR and say, hey, this is your business. I'll take it from here and have something to do. Because, my family is West Indian. Everybody believes in just going and working a 9 to 5, but I never believed in that. I always wanted to be a CEO. I wanted to be a a chairman and stuff like that. And I didn't believe on just working 9 to 5, working on no results or anything like that. That's just my opinion. Some people are good at that, but I wasn't, because I had so many creative ideas. And when I did have creative ideas, people looked at it as a threat rather than me trying to enhance their company.
So as being a rapper, is that how you gain your clientele? Because you've worked with a lot of good names in the industry,
right.
People that are up and come up in the industry right now.
Right.
Is that how you were able to reach those people through being an artist, or did you just make these connections yourself?
You know what's funny? I'll say both, because I learned how to reach out to people through the music entertainment world. Like I knew how to, because it's not just you write them on Twitter, you email them. Sometimes you just, I had to know that they had publicists, they had booking agents, they had managers and stuff like that. So when I learned that this was the way to reach out to people, that was one thing I learned from the other side. But then when I became a publicist and people put me in connection with other publicists, that was just perfect, because I met this other publicist for this person, this publicist for that person, and we all, were boxing as just, publicist team. And so both kind of helped me involve myself with outreaching to talent, and they both, I could say they both worked. Yeah.
So who have you worked with?
As far as
for Peak Entertainment and R&D Entertainment.
R&D
who are your
Entertainment.
clients? Who was your client?
Well, I've worked with so many people. I'm gonna go from people that I did work with on the come up, and into clients that I have now. So of course everybody knows Cash Doll, Cardi, Jamie Foxx, who else? JoJo, the pop singer. Who else? I know I'm missing someone. But
these people are still on your roster now, or this is from past clients?
Right, these are the past clients to what I've done work for. Right now, major clients that I'm working with now who are signed are Asia. She's gonna be on BET's Hustle.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Hustle in Brooklyn.
That's that new female rapper from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, she's doing a reality show with BET. That's gonna be
dope,
crazy.
and she's Haitian.
Yeah. And Patrick A's, he's an actor on CBS. He's done work he's been involved with people from The Purge, from Blue Blood to Law and Order. So he's really, really dope.
Beautiful.
And B. Simone, Sexy Lexi, VH1, Love and Hip Hop New York, Love and Hip Hop Miami, Miami Tip, Love and Hip Hop New York, Bianca. Who else? And that's pretty much all I can think for now.
It sounds like you have a growing clientele list that you're working on.
Yeah, it's literally growing every day. Every time someone hears about, it's word of mouth is very powerful in the industry. It's not so much that people Google a publicist. That's like the last thing people do is like, let me Google and find a publicist. Majority of the time in the music industry, it's like, oh, that's your publicist? Oh, you do PR or you do publicist work? Okay, let's work. Let's talk tomorrow. That's kind of like how we base our net worth through our network.
So how does one break into the industry, especially when you have no connections,
right?
You don't know nobody. You're just trying to just either break in as far as being the PR, being an artist, being whatever it is that you want to do within the industry. How does one break in when they really have no connection? Because like they say, the industry, they say, is very close-knit. Everybody knows each other.
Right.
But how do you break in when you don't know nobody? You can't say, hey, open the door for me. It's like, who are you?
Unfortunately, it is like that. And I hopefully I have the power one day to change that, because it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be, you can break through. It's easy to reach out to people. It's easy to network with someone, and that's what R&D Entertainment Agency is created for. We are an agency that people rely on. So it's more so that we make it so easy to reach our clients, because if you really recognize, and you've probably been through this, like you reach out to an artist and the manager never calls you back, you're emailing back and forth, you're waiting for them to text you. As you know, I'll text you right back, like, hey, this is what's going on. Oh, my bad. Let's set it up for this date. Oh, let me email you back. Let me go on Twitter. Let me reach out. So I've always been a person who values communication. I mean that literally. And I mean
Communication
100%.
is key to a lot of things.
It is, and I never understood why agencies didn't value communication. Like, why do I have to, it goes, go on your website and email us. And then when I do email you guys never email me back. And I never understood that. I was just like, why do people say email me when you get the email and you don't email back? It just never made sense in my mind that, because I enjoy communication. Like, I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy networking. I enjoy emailing. I enjoy texting. I enjoy these things that so much people may not enjoy. So when I realized that I enjoyed doing these things, I said, well, I'm perfect to be a PR. That's what a PR does, is network, communicate, and outreach. So when I figured that out, and that's all I needed was a step. But to literally answer your question, I don't really have a certain answer on how people can get into the music industry or the entertainment realm. My story was different. As people know, I started off as an artist. So I reached out to a manager, and I knew that he was working in industry, and things didn't work out. So he tried to blackball me, and blackballing meaning that he would use the resources he had as a game, and not only that, he can manipulate you where, let's just say I meet a couple other executives that were friends with him, and he'll say, don't talk to this person because I don't talk to them anymore. That's kind of like a form of blackballing, yeah. That's a form of blackballing, yeah. So I ended up getting blackballed because...
That's like similar to the whole situation. I don't know if it's... I don't know what to put on this. The whole situation where they're saying how Nicki Minaj is going around and she's basically stopping checks.
Right, so...
They have people like Academics came out to say that. Remy Ma came out to say that. I believe Cardi B in the past.
Right.
A lot of people came out to say
Well,
it.
let me come out and say that. She definitely tried that with me too. So
Really?
what she does is, it's not so much she stops your bag, it's so more where she would be like, for example, you'd be like, as a business owner or a person putting an event, you may want her to host an event because she has a following, people will show up. And you may want another artist to show up. And if she doesn't agree with the other artist showing up, guess what, I'm not coming.
Oh.
So not only, it's either you want me or you want the other artist. So
see.
you just stopped a bag right there because he was willing to pay both of you guys. He said, you both are great and I want both of you guys, you both get the same amount. But you're saying, if you just come and the other person doesn't come, you gotta choose, you know, and for a female to do that, and for a female who talks about woman empowerment all the time, is just a facade to me, because that's not woman empowerment to say, oh, well, if another female is on the list, well, I'm not coming then.
Yeah.
And then now that you're in a position
That's not
where,
right, actually.
now that you're in a position where another female rapper may be better than you, now you have no choice but to come with that person. I've actually recently tried to decipher her side on things. It does make sense from a business aspect, where if she is the only female rapper, guess what happens? She gets all the money, right?
No,
right.
Of course.
You get all the
does.
shine, you get all the money, you get all the booking. I mean, I get that. I'm not ignorant to that side of things, but at the same time, it doesn't mean it's right just because, you know. But at the same time, my personal situation was being blackballed, and I seen how it happened, and that's another reason why I started an agency, because if you're gonna blackball me as an artist, you sure can't blackball me as an agency. Gotta think. Let me give you guys advice. If you can't, if you're not as financially comfortable as people are, outsmart them. That's one thing I've always stressed. If you don't have the money, learn how to outsmart these people, because at the top, it's all about business, numbers, and company.
So how long PK Entertainment / R&D
I would say
been around?
PK Entertainment been around for a year.
1 year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And R&D Entertainment is around for several months. Has been around for several months.
That's beautiful, because you have grown these, even though all these your clientele basically within a year time span.
Yeah. It's all about really wanting to do this. If you don't want to do this and you're ready to give up, you might as well just stop. How do you differentiate a unsuccessful publicist to a successful publicist?
That's a good question.
Right,
I can't
exactly.
even answer that.
Exactly.
I can't
So
answer that.
the only advantage and privilege publicists have is that the average person doesn't know what a good publicist is and what a bad publicist is. For example, I believe Karen Civil is a bad publicist because she was on the Hillary campaign and she was on Nicki Minaj's promo run. Nicki Minaj's campaign promo run, she failed, doing as much promo because
Which promo was she on? Which one?
She was doing the Queen album for Nicki Minaj.
The one that just came out?
Yeah, so she was doing the publicist work for that, and that album just flopped. So who's to blame?
But then you know what? When you put it like that, you're kind of taking, because I feel like, not to defend Current Civil or anything like that, but I'm just talking in general right now.
Right.
I just feel like that's both parts.
Right.
As a publicist, you know that you cannot control what another person does.
Of course.
You can't tell them, you can't pull them to the side and reprimand them for going out in public and bugging out when you weren't physically there.
You weren't physically
if you want to be somewhere, you want to say...
This is truth.
Yeah.
So
like
my opinion
Nicki Minaj
is...
has been going on the Twitter, going crazy, all this and that. I don't think... She can't control every tweet that Nicki Minaj does.
Because she's grown and she should take responsibility for her actions. But then the list goes on. Her last client album didn't do great and didn't get the publicity it had as well. That's two. Then you won the Hillary Clinton campaign and she lost. So what I've come to terms with is breaking it down. Let's see your past and what is done. If all the last three people you've worked with didn't succeed, I'm not saying you're to blame for it, but I have to check mark that you were part of that. You get what I'm saying? I have to check mark, well, you were on the Hillary campaign and you failed. You didn't win, per se.
But the Hillary campaign, I wouldn't put it fully.
Right, I'm not saying her.
Hillary, she had a full-blown team.
Right, that's what I'm saying, and I want to make this very clear. I'm not blaming her solely.
Sorry, you pointing fingers right there.
So, I'm not blaming her solely, but she has to take a little bit of responsibility for the client's failures, as I do. If I have a client who I'm working on an album and they're not on all magazines, they're not on billboards and stuff like that, and their album doesn't get sold, of course you're not gonna come to me and say, Rocky, you messed up my whole promo run, but I still have to take a little bit blame for that. And I have to take a little bit blame for the next artist that knocks successful. I have to take a little bit blame for the next artist. So how I've come to terms with how to calculate a good publicist from a bad publicist, if your last project was it a successful project to the terms that it needs to be successful. So that's how I can actually determine a great publicist from a really, really bad. So that's a scale, and I don't think she's but let me get twisted. Karen Civil is really, really dope, but she's not the best publicist, and I just want to stress that I'm not saying she's whack, she's dope, she's trash. No, she has a lot of successful projects at the same time, but she also been on projects where she was not as successful.
But when you put it like that,
yeah,
it's kind of like that goes for everybody.
No, exactly. But it's not. We're not going to focus on everybody because this is a question that people always ask me, and this is a question that in the industry.
Is it because you're kind of new in the industry?
Right, and then on top of that, it's never been defined. It's never been defined where someone's like, she's a bad publicist because, no, it's just like, it's never been defined what a bad publicist is. Of course, a lazy publicist may not do the work, listen to their clients. That's like a low budget, like non really working publicist. But when you're in the major leagues where you're working with these major people, just because you're working with a major brand doesn't mean you're good. You get what I'm saying? Doesn't mean you were great on that project. So how do I base, just because you say, yeah, I work with Beyonce on her fashion, but all the fashion bloggers are saying she looks crazy. So who's to blame?
You're right.
Who's to blame? How do I figure out if just because you work with Beyonce doesn't make it seem like you're great at what you do? Because at that time she might have just given you a chance. Like, I met this guy, I have nobody else right now, we building a relationship, let me give him a shot. She might have just done that. And that's the point I want to make. I really don't want to come off negative, but I have to say that because I want people out there, when you are looking for a publicist, you know how to decipher a good publicist, a great publicist, a bad publicist, and a moderate publicist. So people can understand the differences. And I feel as if I'm going to be great. And I want to work with the greats so I can prove that. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just gave me a mouthful just now.
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to start no Publicist beef or whatever, but
I get it. When you put it like that, you do make a major point because you did clarify.
I did clarify, and I want.
It's more so not. It's more so how the credibility the credible work that you did put out compared to how good you really are. So other than proving your credibility to new clients, what has been some of the biggest challenges you have faced growing your company within the industry, especially coming from being a rapper? Now you want to come market people that you were probably rapping about, had on your raps before.
Right.
Like, how exactly?
Which is funny. One thing that I want to say to people is that that's funny. I'm glad you brought that up because during my era as an artist, I did have beef, quote unquote, with people that I do PR for now. So it's just funny but the difference is between me and a lot of people, I know how to put business to business and personal to personal. So I never wanted to cross business and personal and have it intertwined. I always wanted to have it, okay, well, I'll put that aside because, I'm getting checked for this. Let's be honest, right? So I'll put it aside because I'm getting paid for this, and that's the only reason I'll put it aside. Or you're going to put me in another position to get paid or something, whatever the trade-off is what I like to do because I know how to put things. I might not agree with the artist. He or she may not be a dope artist to me, but they do need publicity. I'll work with you because at the end of the day, people always want to make it seem like, I hate when I see PRs in interviews and they try to make it seem like they're not here for the bag. Like everybody works for money. So don't make it seem like you're not working for money. Like, oh, I just love what I do and this is why I do it. No, that you probably do love what you do, but you also love getting paid. Like, why do people make it seem like it's a scary thing to say, I like to get paid for my services? It's just like, why do people always want to shimmer around money? And I'm making it very clear when I meet clients, like, eventually you're going to pay me for my services. Regardless, I might give you a trial, I might work with you, I might give you a couple of favors, but I always decipher for them, like, this is a favor and this is PR. Me getting you into the 40/40 club is not part of PR. I just have a friend who works there. I did PR for her last year and they give me hookups. So I try to make it clear because when we work with younger artists, they want to be in all the hottest parties. They want to be at Atlantic Records parties. No, that's not PR. It's getting into the nightclub and chilling with the Migos and stuff like that. That's not PR. That's just a favor. So I have to demystify and differentiate for them that's not part of publicity. It can be if you make the blogs the next day and we network and we meet a couple of celebrities.
But that's part of PR because my assumption for PR, what I always thought PR was, the person working PR is working the face of the company. Okay. And meaning that according to how you position them, where they at, it's going to be how far along where that person or that company is, if that makes sense to you. Because you have the power to run how they look in media. I mean, that perfect example, that whole situation that happened, by the time this interview come out, I'm pretty sure it's going to be old news, probably be settled already. But the whole situation that happened with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B at Fashion Week. Right. As a PR person, Nicki Minaj came back at Cardi B's PR talking about it was a whole PR stunt at the end of the day. But as somebody working PR, how would have you position that?
That situation is something that positioned itself because...
But something that you cannot blame the PR person for.
I think it's real. I know Cardi, so I know it's real. I know it's not a joke for her that when she pulls up, she pulls up. Because I do the same thing with other PRs. If they're talking reckless about me, I'll pull up too. So it's not me trying to get publicity. It's just me pulling up. Like, I don't know. But actually, one thing that I do hate...
I'm not talking about publicity.
Right, I get it.
I'm talking about as a PR person.
I'm gonna answer
because you have to fix that situation.
Right. So...
damage control.
Right. So one thing that I can speak from my ideal of what PR is, because remember, we're all different. So one thing, her PR is Patrice. So Patrice might do something different. Karen Civil on Nicki's side might do something different. And I might do something completely opposite. So my ideal thing to do is to make sure my client is, quote unquote, looking better than the opposition, I'm gonna state facts, like, you talked about Cardi's baby, so she just had a child. She's she's going through emotions and putting that out there, making it stress on why that happened. You know, bringing in whatever
but
you
then
can be
again,
in.
that would not probably be a great way because it'll be kind of verifying Nicki Minaj's allegations of saying that she suffers from postpartum.
Well, you can make all the...
If you use that stress aspect of things, she just had a baby and she's stressed.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that because it's the truth. Some PRs do use the truth. You know, we're all not out here lying and making up blogs and stories. Some PRs use the truth. I particularly like to because I'm just real. I'm just like, listen, this is what happened, this is what happened. Because something like that, to be honest with you, doesn't really need PR that much because that's just, in general, you have two of the biggest artists right now fighting at an award show. That's publicity, that's publicity all by itself.
So what milestones would you say you've reached so far?
Milestones,
or if you have, do you say you have any?
I would say,
You're still working on those.
I don't want to say I'm still working on them. I have milestones as an artist because I've done PR for myself, obviously. So I think the milestones are, you know, being a major PR for Love and Hip Hop for VH1 and Viacom. That's
Beautiful.
something really, really major. Yeah, I just literally last week met the VH1's marketing team. And you don't really just meet their marketing team. So I met them at the Viacom building and then experiencing that and being part of the VMAs process, being part of MTV, being part of BET. Like, these are milestones that will forever stay as a credit of mine because a lot of people can't say that. And number two is that I've learned so much experience from those situations, whether it was an internship, whether it was just a paid gig. I still learn from them, and that's always going to be embedded in me as I just go further on my journey. So yeah.
So I'm just curious.
Yeah.
The PK Cash compared to versus Rochele Pamphille. Would you say they're two different people?
They very are. They are very.
Especially having this company and having to be more in a business mindset when you do things. How would you say you have grown? Compared to when you were just PK Cash.
Yeah. So Rochele.
P Cash.
Yeah.
Why keep saying PK Cash?
But I got it though.
P Cash.
But yeah. So, you know, I'm a son of a extraordinary mother. I'm a brother to a badass little boy. I'm a brother to a crazy sister. I'm a cousin to hundreds of people. I'm these things. I'm family orientated because when you do PR, you don't really get to talk about this. So being that, or even when you're an artist, you don't really get asked these questions. So people keep forgetting that whoever, even people who don't like me keep forgetting that. And I tell people that all the time. You might talk trash about me, you might dislike me, but I do have a family that may see that blog, that may read what you just wrote about me online. They have to scroll down, calling me all types of names and all these things that you dislike about me. People see that, they see that, and I'm strong. I'm a trooper. Like, I've been through so much in my life that we could do part 2 right now. Like, I've been through so much stuff in my life where nothing really phases me, nothing physically, nothing, no verbal words could get to me. None of that stuff mattered to me at this point in my life. But what does matter to me is when they have to see that, when they have to be like defending me, and that's something I really don't like. When I have to go online and see one of my cousins fighting online on Twitter saying, "Oh no, watch your mouth," and that gets to me because I could ignore 100 tweets all day. You could call me all types of names and say all types of lies. I don't really care. Like, I'm just promoting what I got going on, and I'll just log right off. But they hold me dear, and that's one thing that that's the difference between P Cash and P Cash is just I don't give 2 fucks.
So, what would you tell anybody you wish somebody told you when you first started this journey of saying, I'm going to start my own agency? Matter of fact, let's go back. I want to rap.
Okay.
I'm going to get into this industry. What would you tell somebody you wish someone told you?
Same thing I would have told anybody in whatever field I am in the entertainment business. There is no loyalty, okay? I want to make this so clear. I don't care how much y'all kiki, y'all smile together when you guys are in clubs, how many times they helped you out, how many positions they put you in. You are only as good as the opportunities you can offer someone else, okay? So if you're in a position where I work for MTV, you're my best friend. I no longer work for MTV. I'll call you later. You have no opportunities for me. Your friendship is cool, but you have no opportunities.
But is that more so geared towards the industry or just like...
No, that's people. I don't care if you're the crackhead down the block or somebody at Rolling Stone. My friendship is valued because of our relationship. So your opportunities is not something that I value our relationship. That has nothing to do with me personally. It's great. Hey, you want to put me on? Hey, Rocky, or let's do this. Let's go to Rolling Stones concert and stuff like that. That's cool. You have to connect, but our friendship was never based on that. And that's when the loyalty comes in, where people aren't loyal. They're only loyal to the next opportunity that you can present them. And it's a sad reality. And I've seen it from many people who say they're loyal, they're cool, we're friends. But once I stop giving you those VMA, those MTV passes, I'm the worst person of the world. I'm trash. Don't ever talk to me again. I'm fake. I was never a real friend. So that's one thing I want to stress to you guys is that there's no loyalty. You have to be mentally strong and stay strong if you are strong, because this industry will do it to you. Dealing with so many personalities, so many different things, and it can be stressful. So yeah.
Wow. Rocky just gave us a mouthful of so much.
I could go. I told you we could have part 2. I've been through so much, y'all. Like I told you, we could do a part 2, a part 3, a part 4. Yeah.
Well, my name again is Andrea of macadres.com. You have heard it from
Rocky from P&K Entertainment / R&D Entertainment Agency.
What he just said. Definitely look out every Tuesday for new episodes, and we will see you next week. Bye.